It's the Year of Shame Challenge.
Hello everyone, this is the Year of Shane, Season 12, Episode 4. Welcome. This is Rich 2, your host for tonight, and I am joined by the delectable Rich 2. Say hi, Rich 2.
Hi, Rich 2.
The baldy Kev.
Good evening.
And, of course, Toby James.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
How is everyone?
Yeah, call me.
How is everyone? Everyone?
Lovely.
How are you?
Lovely.
Good?
Yeah,
Have
good.
some energy.
Good.
Come on, let's get some
All
energy.
good, all good.
Blah, 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 blah.
Let's turn this edit into a nightmare. Absolutely. Well, here we are. We are in. We are cracking on through this year. We're at least a quarter in, at least I should think, and we are going to check in with the guys, see how everyone's going. We are going to see what is out there in temptation land of new games, or is it just a dearth and desert of absolute pap, which it's been for the past couple of months. So let's see if there's anything that's tickling our fancy and tempting us to drop a few dollars. And then we'll probably move on to some questions and community questions. So that's the meat and drink and the way we're going to do it today in the running order. So without further ado, as they say, let me go randomly to someone who is in my eye line. Mr. Toby James, you're doing some movements.
Hello.
Check in, please, brother.
Check in. So yeah. Having a teething baby is hard. I don't let you do any sleep, which is lovely. Work is terrible. Video gaming, however, I have, since our last episode, been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla solidly, and it's just too fucking long. I'm not quitting on it. I'm going to carry on, but it's just so fucking long.
Give us
Like,
some
it
hours
is
dropped, brother.
long.
How many hours? How many hours
I
in?
think I'm on 140 odd.
Holy crap! What from
But
last month?
No, altogether. I couldn't
Wow.
tell you what my dropped is since last month, but I also do fall asleep playing it a lot. So, I think a lot of those hours are spent with a controller lolling in my hand. But
like a limp controller with the juices
Exactly.
rolling into your belly button. Is that
the floppy dick version of a controller.
Yeah.
So yeah. Baby toys. I'm cracking on with that. I hope I'll finish it soon. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I know I've moaned that it's long, but I fucking love Viking stuff. I really love it. So it's really fun to do. It's always nice that the canon is female Eivor, but so many people play as male Eivor. So all of the sound files sound weird sometimes, which is great. Some of the relationship holes they try and force you down are also a little bit stunted. My Eivor is now bisexual because I just let him have sex with one of the men they keep trying to make you have sex with, as well as the woman that he's having sex with.
Of course you did, mate. Of course you did.
Yeah, no, I'm
Reverse cowboy.
I was just
I'm reverse cowboying all the way up and down that
it
motherfucker.
Just they forced you down that. Did you say relationship hole?
Relationship hole. That's what I said.
Yeah, you did. I just wanted to check in that. I'm sure Craig got it.
That's what I'm calling it. The relationship hole.
Absolutely. Well, listen.
A man's relationship hole is where I fell.
Listen, you spread that. You spread those. You spread those wings. You spread those butt cheeks, mate. You know.
Spread those cheeks. Reverse cowboy, and we're back in the game. Cutting some balls up.
Exactly. Don't try and reflect this back on me. Anyway. So 140 hours.
It's the community's new favourite position, the reverse cowboy.
It is absolutely. So talk us through this relationship, this baby reindeer type relationship you've got yourself
It wasn't
involved
a
in.
baby reindeer. Jesus Christ! Oh, that's dark. I watched the episode today, and it was heavy. But no. So who is he? He was he's one of Eivor's childhood friends. And I think it's in York that you meet him and you have to convince him to take over from his dying father, and he takes you up to a waterfall. And you could say, "No, I don't think of you like that," but I just let it happen. I'm in. Brokeback Mountain, literally.
It's like
Up
a wave.
mountain.
It's like Monty says in With Nail and I. It's like a wave. Go with it, Mr. James.
I mean, this is also the film you're quoting now, where they drive past a school honking at schoolgirls and they shout, and he goes, "Fucking slappers, they love it." So,
Absolutely.
you know, in terms of correctness,
we don't have time to get into With Nail quotes, so let's not do it. How many hours of
Marwood?
How many hours of bumming you got left?
How many hours of bumming have I got left? Who knows? I've got 2 more areas in England to pledge. And then I don't know what happens next. I haven't read any guides or anything like that, so I genuinely don't know.
Is it genuinely? That sounds like it's going to be a 200-hour game.
I think it doesn't have to be, but it would be like, since I've started playing it again, like we spoke about it on our last episode, and I've been playing it since then, I haven't ran around collecting everything and doing all the different dots on the map and everything else. I've just been storying.
Okay.
Before that, I would literally go for every single dot on the map. Like every white dot, every blue dot, every gold dot, every tower you have to climb up and jump off. Like everything, all the time. Now I'm just shotgunning story to try and get to the end.
And how does that feel?
A bit dirty, if I'm honest with you. I want to collect all the shiny things, but I'm also aware that I'm in the middle of a challenge, and I've completed 4 games, so I want to keep the momentum going.
Kev, you had a question?
How long to beat? Reckons for main story it's 60 hours, and for completionist, like doing like everything, it's 146. So I think we can attribute a lot of it to Toby falling asleep.
Does it say how long does it take an ADHD motherfucker to complete?
No, it doesn't have an ADHD,
it doesn't have an ADHD
new father, teething child.
I've got all the fun stuff going on. Also, you know, I've got my ballet lessons on Saturday mornings. That keeps me away from gaming.
I bet it does. How is that leotard fitting you these days?
They haven't got me a leotard yet, but I've got ballet shoes now.
Fair enough. And just boxer shorts. That is a
in a completely innocent way of saying it. Ballet really hurts your bum.
Oh, you are actually doing ballet?
Yeah, no, I mean it. I'm seriously every Saturday morning I'm doing ballet.
You were taking a child to ballet.
No, I'm doing it, my friend.
No. Check out Facebook, it's on there.
Yeah.
This is the wokest goddamn podcast, baldest wokest podcast I have ever
How is that woke?
Man.
How is that woke?
Man,
men have been doing ballet for a while.
You're having virtual bisexual relationships and doing ballet.
Have you seen male ballet dancers? They are all hench. All of them.
Where do you fit into that?
They may well.
Well, they can be hench at me. It's fine. I'm bisexual now.
Welcome to the club, baby.
Yeah. Ballet. Every Saturday morning. Hour.
Okay.
At the bar.
I am not computing this. If I was a robot, there'd be bits of smoke coming out of my CPU.
I'm gonna send you a link.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
You do?
James, I don't want to see it, mate. I don't want to see you doing ballet. I love you, man, but I don't want to see you. I don't want to see it.
I'm gonna send it.
Right, we are moving on. Good checking. Good pile progress.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you one question. What are you going to do
on there?
What are you going to do after Valhalla?
I think after Valhalla, I'm going to do High on Life, because that's also one that I'm partway through and need to finish.
This is the shooty guns, talking guns game.
Rick and Morty shooty guns, yes.
Nice. Good. Excellent. Kev, let's move on very quickly. Have you had any gender-bending interesting relationships in your video games?
No.
Okay.
No. I haven't sounded unsure, but no, I have not.
Bullshit. Your Baldur's Gate is a fuckfest. I know it is.
It is. And actually, to be fair, I do tend to play female characters and sleep with the other women. So, yeah.
So you're a male lesbian.
Yes, absolutely.
Are these women? Are these women like futanari women or what?
Futanari?
The hell's
Google it.
futanari?
Google it.
No.
Right in the middle of the podcast.
Yes, Google it right now.
Incognito Google. I would do. Yeah, food. It doesn't even matter.
Watch Kev's face in a second.
I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, they're not.
No.
Although one of them's got like no nose and stuff. Like it's fine.
It's not the same.
Well, I'm not googling it, and now I'm really struggling to connect what you've just seen. This is radio, so Kev, you have to describe what you've seen.
So, well, to be fair, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page. Futanari is androgyny and gender bending and
in the more adult video sense, it is essentially an animated female with a large wanger.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Man, this is can we get off this pathway? This is really descending.
So, gaming-wise and life-wise in general. So, I binged the Fallout series. Like, I was kind of like not intending to. I was going to watch it gracefully and gently, and I went through it in like 5 days, I think. It was fantastic. And that has shoved me straight back into Fallout 4, which is on my pile as something that I actually need to complete.
Right.
So I've been on that.
It. You're not redoing the game, because this is a year of redoing games.
Yeah, well, no, I've never completed Fallout 4.
If you go and complete Fallout 4, are you actually going to complete anything else this year?
The thing is, at the moment, I haven't fucking completed anything. So
precisely, that's kind of my point.
Yeah.
But this month, I've just been bouncing from game to game. So I've been playing Baldur's Gate. I reinstalled and have been playing Doom Eternal. Mostly, I was going to complete that just to flip off Toby.
I'll flip off. You failed at that.
But like, and then Fallout came out, and I wasn't expecting to get hooked in quite as dramatically as I was. Yeah. But no, it was such a good show, and really made me long for the game. So I did get drawn back into that. So yeah, I've continued to make shit all progress towards actually completing a game. But I'm continuing to enjoy my life and not buy new games, which
there
have been quite a few actually over the last month that I've sort of looked at and gone, if I wasn't doing the Year of Shame, I would have just bought this now. So
we'll move on.
That's an interesting one for me.
On your section, that's absolutely fine. So where are you in Fallout 4? Toby's 140 hours into Valhalla. He's probably got another 60 to go with his fucking around in his ADHD.
I think I've played like 10 hours. Like, I haven't done much.
You started it? Is that where you started where you left off, or you just rebooted?
No, I started a new game. Like,
okay.
Yeah, no, I never pick up where I left off.
So where
I can't do that.
Where did you get to?
Oh, like really early on. I think I got distracted with setting up settlements and stuff like that, rather than progressing the main storyline, which is what always happens when I play this game. Is why I haven't completed it, is because there is so much in it, and the main storyline is actually not that much of a grabbing point. It suffers from I think Bethesda, because Skyrim is the same. The actual main storyline is like the least interesting part of the game.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I do need to kind of maybe try and focus on that a bit. But we'll see how long this interest lasts. I might not get that far at all.
The golden rule.
At the moment, I am determined to finish at least one game this year. So
now the golden rule. I hope that's a callback to the TV series, because I did like that. That was very that was clever. Was that just straight from them? They don't mention that in Fallout, do they? like in the game. That's just something
I don't think so.
they've dropped in as a bit of a nod. Like, what's the golden rule? Can anyone remember it from the
Do
TV?
unto others as you would have done unto you.
No, it's don't get.
No.
You will continue to get distracted by unimportant bullshit or something like that.
Yeah, that's what he says, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the whole series is her getting distracted by side quests, right? Like,
Yeah. Very good. So, everyone's opinions on Fallout 4? Is everyone enjoy? Fallout the TV show. Have they nailed it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I'm only on to episode 5, so careful.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was disappointed
spoilers,
that...
just feelings.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say this is without any spoiler. That the point that it stopped, I was a little bit annoyed that it didn't just go just a few beats further.
Okay.
yeah, they definitely left it very much open for series 2.
Of course, we always knew it was going to get signed up for one, but
yeah, I don't know. There seems to be a certain level of surprise as just at how well it is done.
I think that's only
yeah.
a surprise for people that aren't gamers and don't love Walt Goggins.
Sure.
Like anyone who's watched Sons of Anarchy at least once thinks Walt Goggins is the most versatile actor ever. Anyway,
I think it's the
no
first thing
idea
I've
who
ever
was
really.
going into that.
Yeah, exactly that.
I've not seen anything.
wow!
I've not seen him in anything before, so it was
Justified,
the first
Sons
thing
of
I've ever seen him.
Anarchy. Like
No.
he just destroys everything he's in. He's a brilliant actor and he's super versatile.
Oh, I'm not saying he isn't. I've just never seen anything with him up until this
No,
point.
but now I urge you to go back and find other things that he's been in to see the masterclasses that he's put on. Like in Sons of Anarchy, he plays a transsexual hooker called Venus.
That is as far away from what I expected.
Precisely,
yeah.
Which is why he's so good. Like his emotional range. Like you find out that this character was sexually abused as a child by her mother, and then the mother steals their son and tries to brainwash them. And there's a really haunting scene where the mum's just screaming abuse at Walt Goggins as this transsexual woman. And the emotional range that he goes through in that scene is phenomenal.
Awesome.
Like, and people just think Sons of Anarchy is this like an outlaw drama, and for the most part it is. But there's lots of big feeling parts in there too, and Walt Goggins is a huge part of that for the latter seasons.
Awesome.
Yeah, and what else is he? I think I first saw him. Is he in Shield?
I think so. Yes, he was definitely in Justified. And he was. If he wasn't in Shield, he was in The Wire. He was in something of that ilk.
Yeah,
I think it might have been The Shield because The Shield was written in part by the guy who wrote Sons of Anarchy, and so he sort of poached him across.
Yeah. I agree. I think he absolutely carries it. But everyone's good in it. To be fair.
Yeah.
It is very good. So Rich too.
Right. So, kind of like Toby. Sorry. Let's just say I've been wandering around and not doing much on games. A bit kind of like Kev. I have made progress on some of these, but probably not played as much this last month as I could have done, just because I've not really felt like it. Instead of blasting through things just for the sake of it, I've decided on Cyberpunk. I'm going to clear every single gig and every single NCPD scanner point on the map before I go any further on the story. So at the moment, I'm doing absolutely nothing connected to the main story except going around and shooting gang members in the face. The NCPD, well, yeah, they will thank me for doing their job at the end of the game. I'm absolutely sure of it. Even if there's no achievement, I'm going to make it do that. I've played some more 2 Point Campus. I've got another 1 or 2. I can't remember how many actual campuses complete. I'm onto a spy school now, which is quite ridiculous when they all walk around like things from the Pink Panther. Yeah, I haven't really played. I've been playing some Fallout, but it's Fallout 76. Don't hate me for it.
Well,
I
a
finished
few,
What is it
Fallout
like
4.
these days?
a
Like,
few people have said to get back into it, but
It's
some
not.
time
It
suck.
is a long way from the shit show it was when it first launched. It's actually got content and NPCs, and they have just done a second expedition expansion. So as part of the main map, you've got sort of side areas which are related to the story, but they're other locales. So you got a couple of areas within Pittsburgh that you can go to into the pit. They've just released Atlantic City, where there's stuff you can do. So you travel to these by vertibird. You're not actually you can't actually just wander around the map to get to them.
Take a while.
And then, well, yes, it would. And there is a map expansion coming in June for it as well. So they're spending a lot of time on it this year.
So what was the original problem? I never played
I
it.
did-
Was it just pointless? Was it?
I didn't have the original because it was such a shit show. I never got into it. But as I understand it, it was essentially just a PvP, do the fuck what you like map with very little story or NPCs in it. They actually had to do a large expansion just to add a load of NPCs to give them dialogue and to get them to do things. It was an attempt, I think, at some sort of sandbox combat game that just didn't work at the time. Nobody really wanted to do very much with it. You've still got PvP in it now, but it's so vastly reduced it might as well not be there.
Yeah,
And
I guess it just got ultra trolly, right? And just like any of these games would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's my sort of return to Fallout that I've had, because I finished 4 when it was originally out on whatever PlayStation it came out on, and there's various DLCs that I did with that as well. So I've experienced that one, and I played 3 in New Vegas on Xbox because they were absolutely diabolical on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Wouldn't run like the original Skyrim. The architecture on the PS3 wouldn't have with them.
So you are playing Fallout 76 then, but there's no completable quest line then. You can't put it down.
There is completable quests and so on. I completed those a while back. I'm back into it now, just sort of around each sort of length of time, kind of like Fallout Fortnite has seasons. There are seasons within Fallout 76 where you've got different things to do. There's sort of like daily tasks and small bits of story to do around a certain theme. Like at the moment, we've got it's around a character called Rip Daring, who's kind of a Indiana Jones come Alan Quatermain style monster hunter, set in it's set in West Virginia and Appalachia. And if you know your sort of monster history, there's quite a lot of cryptids in there. So the Mothman is from Appalachia.
Yeah.
And he's returned to Appalachia to try and find all these different monsters. And so there's stories, and they've got alien invaders currently and things like that there.
Yeah. For me, it goes on the pile of No Man's Sky. Like, don't touch this year. It's just a never-ending times vampire.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I can only have one on the go. It used to be World of Tanks, and it was World of Warcraft before that. So this is kind of the one that I've got going at the moment.
Yeah. Did you guys spend much time in Red Dead's multiplayer? RDR2. No.
I gave it a go, but it
tiny
didn't
bit,
have
but
the same kind of like pull as like the GTA Online stuff did.
Yeah, there wasn't really. I would have liked it more if there was some sort of homestead like camps, or like you could have an apartment or something if you could actually set a homestead. But there was nothing like that. The only thing you could do, you had a movable camp, if I remember, and that was it. And it was within there that was a safe space. And then as soon as you ventured out there, you were fair game for all the pricks that inhabited the landscape.
That's what I thought Fallout 76 was. Reminded me of that. It's just never-ending trolls and just nothing really to do. No way to progress, really.
I believe that was what it was like some like 5 years ago on release, but they quickly found out from fan reaction that they needed to change it. And to be fair, they have made a lot of changes to it. I still don't think it's one of the best entries into Fallout franchise, but it's the one that I'm playing with at the moment.
So what are you watching now at the moment? Watching anything interesting?
I have
Apart
got.
from Fallout?
I'm up to the 5th episode of Fallout, so I'm not binging that. I'm watching that gradually, and I'm going back and I am rewatching The Boys. So I'm at the start of season 2 now.
Did you watch the university one?
I watched 3 episodes of that. I quite enjoyed it, but fell off it. I don't know why.
I watched all
quite
of
as
it.
good.
Its ending sort of leads into the next season of The Boys, so
Does
it's
it?
worth it's worth keeping an eye on. Also, has anyone taken a chance on the 3-body problem yet?
I need to do a year of shame for Netflix movies. Netflix seasons.
It's a series, and it's by the guys who made Game of Thrones. But so with Game of Thrones, people always said the books were unfilmable. It was too much, too big. You'd confuse people because all the books are done from first-person perspective and everything as well, which makes it even more wonky to tell a narrative for a viewing audience. So they went, we've done that. So now they've picked a sci-fi, which people have said was unfilmable. And unsurprisingly, it's got a few people from Game of Thrones in it. It's also, the list of producers is insane. It's like Rosamund Pike, Brad Pitt, I think John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are in the list as well. Like the producers list is more star-studded than the actual cast list. But I've watched the first episode. It was interesting. I'm certainly going to smash on with it, but I haven't as yet.
So I think that they may well be right that it was unfilmable. I mean, I don't know. I like the premise, I like the storyline, but it just smacks to me as like I should just go and read the book because I can feel that they're missing some deep things and the way that they're expressing it. Don't get me wrong, it's probably worth 6 episodes, 6 hours of your life to watch. It's interesting enough. As I say, halfway through it, but I haven't hooked on. But they kind of following a bit of like fill it with pretty people. None of those people would be in a particle accelerator.
No, you got Samuel Tarly. He'd really be in a particle accelerator.
Yeah, exactly. He's like the token minger.
Token fatty.
He's like the token us in there. It's like, we've got to stick someone who looks like Year of Shame. Year of Shame is season 12. Let's stick him in. So we get a nod for that. But yeah. It's science. It's always a struggle, isn't it, when things are on computers and you've got to tapping into a computer.
It's like
and
Tron in space.
Interesting.
Tron in space.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've taken that over. Anyone else been watching anything interesting that they want to bring to the fore?
No.
Obviously, Baby Reindeer as well.
Yeah, I think that's too much to get in the question. Everyone watched Baby Reindeer?
No.
It's very good, but just episode 4 is fuck with your brain.
It's
right.
Very, okay. It's very, very brutal. Now that is worth watch. So I'll before I get onto my pile of shame, I'll make a recommendation. I got massively into Ripley.
Oh yeah, it's on my list. Yeah, Andrew Scott as Ripley. All about that.
I got all the way through to the end of that, and there wasn't a single fucking xenomorph in it.
I mean, be expected, isn't it?
He pauses for the setup of the joke. Thank you, Toby, for doing that. No, So Ripley is it's a recreation of the book. I can't remember the name of the original.
The Talented
book.
Mr. Ripley.
No, not the Talented Mr. Ripley. That's the film of the book. So there is
an original.
The book was
also called that.
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's not called the Talent. I'm pretty sure it's not called. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Whatever the original book was in the 60s, this is supposed to be a highly sympathetic, direct recreation of it.
Yeah, it's called The Talented Mr. Ripley, I'm afraid.
Oh, the
Yeah.
book is. Oh, it is. Fair enough. Whatever it is. Yeah. So the original book is The Talented Mr. Ripley. So this is apparently a sympathetic recreation of it, as opposed to the
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon version, which was highly dramatized. And I think if you sat down and watched it, you realise why they didn't film the film in this way. It is painstakingly slow. It's like watching a painting. But I loved it. If you come into it appreciating, I just loved being in where they create the world, 1960s Italy, sharp suits, drinking coffee and espressos and all of that stuff. It just paints a beautiful picture. I was just absorbed into its cinematography and its positioning and its artwork, and more
Like
so than the
Saltburn.
storyline. Well, but it is Saltburn. That's a Saltburn story, isn't it?
It's very similar, and Saltburn as well was shot so well. Like there were so many vignettes in Saltburn where you're just like, okay, what's happening on screen is really fucked up, but look at the shot.
Yeah, but it's the same story as Saltburn.
Yeah,
Talented
it's
Mr.
very
Ripley,
much the
isn't
same
it?
thing. Yeah.
It's exactly the same story.
Absorbing someone's life. Yeah.
So
What's his name? Dickie.
Yes, it is Dickie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I very much enjoyed my time in that. And then where I am on my pile of shame is that I am now 15 hours into Mass Effect 2.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. I'm deep into it,
He's
baby.
hooked now.
I am
fucking?
hooked. I am hooked. No one's fucking me. Like, I
What?
don't know how.
Try harder.
Try harder.
Although I've chosen the bottom right hand dialogue for every single dialogue because Toby told me not to do it.
Renegade.
So I just everyone I'm complete. And
so your skin's all
dick.
Darth Vader and glowing red.
Yeah, no, I
literally ruined.
Oh yes, it is glowing red. I wondered why
I
it was
know.
starting to do that.
Don't test me on Mass Effect 2, friend. Don't do it.
I wasn't testing you. I thought my screen was screwed up. I was thinking, all the pixels are going on my screen.
The idea is that if you choose all the bad choices, the scars from Project Lazarus become more and more visible, and they glow red.
Oh, right.
And then they just forget about it in Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, then it's all gone.
Is it? I mean, I
Retconned.
take it I can get through it, but I like doing that. It's just like, yeah, you're a dick. Fuck you. Whatever anyone says.
The thing about Shepard is people love him whether he's a dick or he's not a dick.
Yeah, he is so arrogant. I don't know, Barry Shepard, which is my Shepard. He's an absolute knobhead. He loves himself. Is this my storyline coming through? Or is it just like that? Because he's like, yeah, I am a god. Like she one of the characters comes in and says, "You're speaking to a god," and he goes, "Yeah, I absolutely am."
Yeah.
Arrogant.
No, that's just playing the Renegade part through. Have you had any trigger events yet where you have to pull the trigger for?
Right. Okay.
Renegade
Yeah.
or
And
Paragon?
this. Yeah. So I haven't looked into it because I don't use walkthroughs. I did have to find out what their mechanics are. So sometimes I have to set the mechanics, but I haven't searched that up. So the L2 and I didn't understand them, so I just hit them every time.
So if it's the Renegade symbol, which is the star with some lines underneath it,
the R2,
yeah,
and then there's
that
an
will
L2.
give you super Renegade points, super duper.
And usually if I was throwing somebody out of a window or something, right?
Yeah, like you kick that guy out of the window in the sniper mission, or the alternative, the blue winged thing, it's like a falcon or whatever. Yeah, gets you super Paragon points.
Right.
And it's usually doing something like saving somebody,
Stroking
even though.
a kitten.
But what do you do?
Saving somebody, even though they're an enemy or something.
What do they do? Because rather than getting deep into it, I've just sort of just like, I'll just choose these. But I do sometimes get an L2 and an R2, so I don't really know what I'm doing there.
You just pick one side, basically. If you're going super
Yeah.
renegade, then
It's what
yeah, go
playthrough
for-
you want to do, man.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
if you want to be the arsehole, then only pick the renegade ones.
Okay.
If you pick a paragon one when you're playing as renegade, then it almost just it negates itself.
Fair enough. I'll do that.
I
Anyway,
would suggest if you're playing as renegade that you should probably shag Miranda.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
I-
I always go for Jack, but that's because I'm messed up.
I've been seeing if I can do grunt.
You cannot. You can do
you
Garrus.
cannot screw your child. No,
Is he your child?
Technically,
no,
yes.
not really. But he's essentially a baby.
Yeah.
You can.
Stepchild. Stepson.
Can. Oh wait,
There's-
no, you can't do Garrus as gay, can you? It's only Caden Alenko you can do as gay.
In 2, I think there's very limited
Yeah, it's only Caden
homosexual
Alenko.
stuff.
Right. Which is why I wonder why you like it so much, Savy.
Whereas in
Because
3
they,
you
um,
can do Rodriguez and everyone. So
Yeah, there was a lot of media backlash at the time when
Yeah.
they pulled a lot of the homosexual content from it.
Well-
So like Jack was supposed to be a bisexual. Like Jack is clearly bisexual, right? But
Yes.
you can't date her as a woman. Like
no.
yeah.
Well, I mean that's because she belongs to my shepherd, so it's fine.
So I'm 15 hours in, and not a single person has shown any interest in fucking me whatsoever.
You have to get through the first round of missions before any of that starts to happen.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
even built this. I've got 2 more squad members to do. I've got a bit stuck like you. I've been fucking around and doing stuff and doing assignments and
The Mass Effect romance.
Which
There's-
2 squad members have you got to get? Because I could give you a hint that will help you. What do you know? What the missions are called?
Do you know anything?
Because there's two.
Listen, I've
there's two.
just
there's two
got
specific.
I've just got the assassin. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
doing them
Gareth.
in the order they.
No,
Gareth,
Kasumi, I assume.
Casimir. So the
Oh,
woman-
that's
Kasumi.
DLC. That's not even.
Yeah. He doesn't know that though.
No, I don't
No.
know. I
It's
don't
all
know that.
one now.
She wasn't in the original game.
Oh, okay. So
I love. She's
I've
awesome
gone,
though.
I've gone through it in that order. I think I have 3 companions to do. I am trying. God, you're gonna have to help me on this one. I'm on Ilium, and I'm trying to get the.
Have you
the woman who is? So I've got this the assassin, the one that's
Kasumi.
Assuming
no,
go.
and the other thing.
Garrus,
The
you pick
yellow
up pretty
thing.
early.
And my brain doesn't. My brain goes.
Have you got
Because-
Jack?
Yeah, leave
Yeah, I've
Jack
got-
till the
I've
very
got-
last,
Oh no, I got Jack somehow.
and leave Miranda. Oh no, you've got Miranda already. Oh,
Miranda,
got
you get
mine.
from the start.
Yeah, no, it's just-
Morden? Morden?
Got
Morden.
got Morden. And I've got. Is it? So I'm on Ilium. Is that right?
That's
and it-
Liara, isn't it?
And it's something to do with a merchant. Those little fat things with the
Volus.
the Volus. That's his partner's been killed, and I've got to go and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
investigate.
Liara DLC stuff,
Yeah. That's Shadow Broker DLC.
That sounds
which is
right.
like the best DLC I think that I've ever played. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's up there.
I can't work. There's no indication because this is
No,
the
'cause you've got the
legendary
Ultimate
version. I've
Editions,
got the
basically,
ultimate,
yeah.
whatever it is. I've no idea what I'm doing.
Have you've picked up Thane?
Yes, Thane.
Thane Krios.
Yeah. So-
Samara, maybe?
Samara's who I'm trying to get.
Oh, the
at the moment.
Justicar.
She's just
Yeah.
just a car. There you go. Yes. So there
Oh,
are.
her
that's
loyalty
where I am.
mission is intense.
So once I get the squad together, am I
You then
now
have to
into
get them-
And
No.
where am I through the storyline? Am I
You're
sort of like
halfway
just
when you get all the squad.
halfway and then another
Oh,
halfway?
that depends because you can do some of the loyalty stuff before you get the whole
can.
squad.
And that's what I was going to say. If you are, that's why I was going to say leave Jack till last, because there's something that triggers halfway through the loyalty missions, and if you don't have both of them loyal when it triggers, then you
Yeah.
can't pick them both. You can only pick one or the other, and then you lose one as an
Okay.
option.
Okay. I mean, my sentiment on this one is that I'm just going to run it through as is. I'm going to do
Yeah,
it
yeah,
on the
definitely.
PG3.
Yeah,
just
no.
play it without trying to just experience it because it
Yep.
is. I must say, it is a game. I feel like I will run it again next year or
Yeah.
I just keep
very
running.
filmic.
There's enough in it. I think that there's only a couple of niggles. Couple of niggles is probably more me than anything. You'll probably tell me how to do it, but I get a little frustrated with where the next mission is. So I mean, having to read actually.
Not reading.
I know. I just feel I'm just so spoilt with like it's just like ding. Where is it on the map? Why isn't there a waypoint? Why isn't it just telling me to exactly go there? But that's
Just think yourself lucky because on the Legendary Edition they improved it. You used to have to go into your journal, read about it, find out where it was, come out of the journal, go into the map, find the location, go and travel to it. And if you wanted to change your mind at any point, you had to come all the way back out of the map, go back into the journal. And they did streamline that a little bit in the Legendary Edition.
So now when you go through the mass relay, you could see where the missions are. So that's not so bad. And then the other, I guess, the other little bit of frustrating thing, and maybe maybe there's another way around to do it. I feel like I want more information about the mission, so I can pick my squad better. I feel like I get committed into a mission, and I'm like, I wouldn't have
pick your favorite team members and stick with
I
them.
wouldn't have picked this team if this is, I feel like I'm missing a bit of strategy here that I could prepare for.
We picked when we created your character, didn't we create it as a Vanguard?
Vanguard.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to be picking sort of heavy artillery and then a biotic.
Yeah.
So you need Grunt or Jacob, or maybe Garrus, and then you need a biotic. So you need Jack or Liara, or when you've got the Justicar.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I'm picking it. But I kind of feel like if they just gave me a hint of what I'd be facing, Mercs.
But then there's no fun in it.
Okay, so that was our pile progress and check-ins. Thanks, guys. So on to Kev for new games coming out.
So looking forward, there's a few that have certainly caught my eye. A couple that are PC centric. So first of all, there's Homeworld 3, which is a sequel to the Homeworld series, which is a space strategy game. So it's a lot of quite heavy strategy. It's quite a difficult one. I don't know if you guys have played any of the Homeworld games.
No.
I just don't think I could think about it. You're saying it's real time strategy and it's PvP, right?
I wouldn't touch the PvP side of things. I think I'd get my ass kicked all over the place. But the PvE, the storyline, and there tends to be a pretty good storyline. It's usually, it's kind of slightly Battlestar Galactica-esque, looking for a new home type story to them. Intense strategy, working on all three dimensions. Looking forward to that one. We'll maybe see what the reviews are before I think about a Joker, but it's definitely potential on the list.
It's that much of interest to you that it's a Joker possibility.
Yeah, like I've been looking forward to it for a while. I didn't realize it was coming out this year. If I'd been honest, I knew it was coming. But I hadn't been paying enough attention to be aware it was this year.
Give us a release date on that then?
So that's the 13th of May.
Ooh,
so yeah,
it's gonna be May.
So we'll have to see what the general attitude to that one is. Although I have a feeling that even if I was to get it, it's one that would end up sitting on my pile forever because it is pretty intense and pretty tough. So there's also the Ghost of Tsushima PC release, which is another one that's a potential for me. I was very interested in it when it was out on PlayStation, but don't have the console to be able to buy it. So been waiting for it, and the port's being done by the same people who did the Spider-Man ports and everything. So I think it will be a fairly decent port. They seem to know what they're doing, unlike some of the people Sony have used in the past.
I think that game. I love that game, but I wouldn't drop a Joker on it this year. I would. Do you know what I mean? I think you've waited this long anyway.
Yeah.
You may as well wait another year and enjoy it. I loved it from beginning to end, and even a bit of the multiplayer and everything like that. So, but I love that world. You know, so some worlds you get into. So the Japanese, Korean worlds, that kind of thing, when they're not JRPGs, basically. But they're done in that kind of the Western style, but they're that culture and they're that heritage and history. Yeah, I just loved my time in there. It was brilliant. It's a brilliant game. Red Dead Redemption with swords.
Definitely, like I said, one on my list. So I'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, maybe wait until next year then. Outside of that, there isn't a huge amount that I think is particularly attention grabbing. We've got Senua Saga.
Yeah,
Hellblade 2.
Hellblades, yeah. I can let that pass me. I can let that pass me by. That's just a good one to pick up next year. There no indication of Rise of the Ronin on that list. I thought that was coming out. I've tried to purposely avoid it because that's one that is like Ghost of Tsushima.
Rise of the Ronin.
Yeah, that was gonna.
Not on this list that I'm looking at.
No. Well, perhaps that's fine. Just don't tell me if it's out or if it's not. But that was definitely
Oh, that was apparently a March release.
Yeah. Did it come out? God, I haven't seen a single person playing it then.
No,
so
I haven't.
Zero hype. It looked fantastic. But I reckon
Yeah,
it's
apparently
probably
released
gone
on the
now.
22nd of March.
Has anyone seen anyone playing it?
Generally favourable reviews, 76% on Metacritic.
Right.
Ooh.
So
Alright.
yeah, it does sound like it's done reasonably well, even if it isn't hitting the media.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a fair number of 90, reviews. So
Yeah.
what is that then? Is that like a sequel or something, or is that?
No, it's by completely. So we spoke about it at the very beginning of this. It was on our kind of ones to watch when we were doing our episode 0, and it was just on that. It was one that I was a bit of a fancier for because it was Ghost of Tsushima esque
Sure.
in terms of there, and it was I can't remember the publishing houses that do it now, but that's why I fancied it, but. If I haven't bought it now, we're in May, so could probably let it flow past me.
Oh, Team Ninja developer.
Team Ninja, that's it. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So I think that's probably the big exciting ones. There is, however, also a couple that caught my eye. There's Multiverses, which is the ridiculous Smash Bros knockoff with Scooby-Doo fighting Batman and all that kind of stuff. So that's a nice multi-platform one.
Can we smack do in the face?
And there's one called Haunty, which interested me. Hauntii. It's coming out on all the platforms. Little indie type game. Looks like you're playing sort of a ghost type thing. I don't know. I sort of watched a couple of sort of videos of it, and it looked quite interesting. Again, probably not a Joker material, but certainly looked like a nice little enjoyable indie game.
Yeah. So I think the ones that we originally said that were possible Jokers have kind of passed us by with little or no hype, basically, or bad reviews. Rich,
We still haven't seen Star Wars Outlaws, have we?
I was going to say Outlaws is currently scheduled for August.
Yeah,
So
got my eye on that.
I've seen
There's the Elden Ring DLC in June coming out. I don't know.
I didn't play
I'm
Elden
guessing
Ring.
people don't feel like spending a Joker on a DLC, but
No.
Don't know. I might spend one on Phantom Liberty, depending on how far through this year I get without having spent something anyway. Because I'm really enjoying that cyberpunk experience at the moment.
Yeah, it just goes to show the quality of games that we haven't played. I mean, I'm quite happy if I was just played through the Mass Effect games all this year. I'm not hankering for nothing in a structure of a game or a universe or a game apart from Outlaws. Now,
I've seen something that I didn't know was coming out though. That was of interest that I found this. Well, while we were looking for things for this episode, there's something coming out from Supermassive Games who did Until Dawn, The Quarry, those sort of cinematic make your choices kind of things. It's another horror game, so it's set in the world of the Dead by Daylight asymmetric horror fighty games. What you've got one person playing the killer of whatever theme you've picked, and then you've got a group of survivors. So it's set in that universe. It's called The Casting of Frank Stone. So it's set in a group of teens go back to wherever they grow up, which has the traditional horror setup of an old legend of somebody who lived there, and this guy lived in the Oregon steel mill, and they go back there and try and find out stuff about him. This is the Frank Stone, and obviously Steel's cast, so I'm assuming that's where the title comes from. It looks very good, and I really enjoyed the Until Dawn, and I was going to get The Quarry when it originally came out, but I never got round to that for circumstances.
Well, I mean, it sounds almost exactly the same story as The Quarry, just with slightly different scenario and a slightly different premise.
I missed The Quarry though, so this one's this caught my eye. It looks absolutely fantastic as well.
Yeah, that might be. Seeing as there isn't that much in Down Temptation Alley, and we have gifts and a Joker, I'm wondering whether or not something like that might be of interest just to get as a gift over Father's Day. Or is there anything else in the future that you're saving up for?
Star Wars Rebels, man. Outlaws, rather. That's what I've got an eye on at the moment. And I'll be honest, with the completion rate that I'm on, I'm more tempted to just play the things that I've got and just buy it next year when it'll be super cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing for me is everything that is coming out. None of it is like, if I don't get it now, I'm gonna like regret it or miss something,
Yeah. Get Game of the Year editions next year. Done.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all.
And I think that for me has been like the big difference. I was saying earlier, there's been a few things that have sort of come out that if I wasn't doing the Year of Shame, I just would have picked it up because it was, on sale for a tenner or whatever, and would have just added to that, ever increasing pile of shame. So I do think there is kind of like, hopefully, even though I'm not completing a huge amount of stuff, some habits and things that maybe I'll stick to and won't just pick up stuff for the sake of it.
Yeah, I think the big danger this year is just getting stuck into these never-ending games. Fallout 76, getting stuck in Mass Effect 2, getting stuck in Valhalla. Those are probably the big dangers for not reduction of pile of shame, and not buying it. But there you go. That's the vibe, man. Brilliant. All right. Okay, so let's move on now to the final section, which is, I think we have a few community questions.
Time for It's Your Letters. Here we go.
It's your letters. It's your letters. It's your letters. It's your letters.
Oh, me.
You.
Yeah, we got questions. Kev asked the people for their best questions.
And the people responded.
Rich one then mugged him off and said any questions will do. And so we ended up here. So we've actually got quite a few, and some that I'm quite into. But we'll start at the top, work our way down. So Brian Riley, serial listener, serial completionist this year, playing alongside us on the Year of Shame, putting in the hard yards, I guess.
Literally putting us to shame. Everyone else in the community is doing it in such a better way than we are.
Yeah, but I guess living in Japan, you're around gamers all the time, so you feel the need to game. So Brian has asked us, I'd like to know how you prioritise the order of your games this year. Did you dip into whatever feels good on that day, or short games first so you can be a fast finisher to get some on the board, or do you prefer to be slow, thorough, and explore every nook and cranny, or maybe alternative slow, then fast, then slow, then fast, then fast, then slow? I think he's talking about reverse cowboy, not picking games. But,
Sexy Brian.
Sexy Brian. So yeah, I think that's probably quite an interesting question for the people listening, because we just seem to pick a game out of thin air every month. So what are you playing next? Oh, I'm playing Beeblebang Ziegelbrox. So yeah, with me, I think I just picked games that I felt like I wanted to play next, and didn't really put too much thought into it. Rich, number 2?
I don't really have an order in mind. A lot of my games are very similar because I have, and a lot of them are set in quite weird worlds. And I know at least one other person who doesn't know what a lot of the games even are to start with. So yeah, I don't really pick those on. I think some of the newer ones are the ones that I've got off the pile to start with, but that wasn't a conscious decision on my part. I've got some older ones that are in there that I think I took it out of storage, shall we say, because I'm sure they were sat in the digital storage bin, and popped them on the pile and just sort of left them on the horizon to come to when I got the mood.
Cool. And Kev?
So yeah, I think I came into it with a plan and a list of games that I wanted to work on and an order, and it has all gone out of the window by month 2. And I'm just doing whatever I feel like.
Lovely. And Rich, number 1?
Everyone knows that it goes fast, 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 slow. Fast, fast, slow. Yeah.
Got a nice rhythm.
Exactly. Everyone knows it. That's an enjoyable way to do it. So I ticked off some fast ones to start off with to get into it. Then I bounced around like a cocaine DJ. But now I've forced myself into Mass Effect 2.
Now it's forcing itself into you.
And I'm going to enjoy that to the end, and then I'm going to dive into some short, unknown ones, the weird stuff at the bottom of the pile. Like put your hands down and go there. So that's how I'm going to do it, Brian. Is fast, fast, slow.
So there you go, Brian. I hope that's answered your sexy question. Next we have Blair Ferguson, who's given us a two-hander, as it were. Tee-hee.
Hey.
Given that God is infinite and that the universe is also infinite, would you like a toasted tea cake?
Absolutely.
That is from Red Dwarf.
I'm more of a waffle guy.
Yeah, I'll go for a schmog and a pancake.
Absolutely. Yes. Good quote from Red Dwarf there.
He's then followed it up with, given the recent TV video game crossovers like The Witcher, Fallout, The Last of Us, etc., what game do you hope they definitely develop into a series, and what one do you hope they definitely do not? Rich, number 1.
Ooh.
Well, has there been a Mass Effect series?
No.
No. Why not? Why not? It's a bigger game than Fallout, is it? Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think someone owns the movie rights. They've bounced around a bit, but I think as the way all things are going, if the movie's not made, which I think they're probably running out sometime soon, it'll be made into a TV series. I think someone will snaffle it up. It'll probably coincide with the new Mass Effect game, which is due out next year.
Yeah.
Next year might be optimistic, but
but that's what they've said.
They have to be looking at the uplift in Fallout, playing the Fallout 4 from the Fallout TV series. Everyone has to be seeing that. At the end of the day, Amazon Prime are giving away Fallout 4 for free, aren't they? I believe.
Yeah, look at the timing. The series literally came out a week and a half before the next gen update of Fallout 4.
Yeah,
I think that was actually done the other way around to a certain extent. Like I think they rushed a next gen update because they had no Fallout 5 to throw out there.
Agreed, but I do think the two things were marketed together.
So I think we're going to see this as the future now. I think we're going to get TV shows and games one
In
after
tandem.
the other in tandem. Probably the game will come first because that's the most lucrative.
Yep.
And then if it's good, they'll invest in that. So if Mass Effect and the other one, well, I tell you what, I've chosen one, so I don't want to pick the one out.
But you've got to pick one you don't want made as well.
One that I don't want
one
made.
you do and one you don't.
Oh, one of each.
Outlast.
Okay.
Outlast.
Oh, I was going to say that should be one that we do make.
Yeah, no.
Well then, Rich,
never
number
did.
2, let's have your answer next.
All right. I think if it's not already on the cards, there's a lot of storytelling you could do in the GTA world. I think you could take some of those. It probably would be more of an episodic TV show, I reckon, rather than a film.
Yeah.
But
I think a Trevor Phillips series would be amazing.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how good
That would
that'd
be
be?
phenomenal.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think whichever way you okay, you could go down the Breaking Bad sort of route with something like that, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Something like that would work in there, definitely.
Or just give each character from GTA 5 their own mini-series.
Well, yeah, so you've got something like American Horror Story or whatever that concentrates on a different sort of theme and or set of characters for a series, and then it moves on to another group for the next one, which is the games anyway.
Bellic series as well.
Well, that's what the
Nico Bellic series would be good.
It's what the games are essentially, isn't it? They're like a self-contained series, and you've got a bunch of episodes, which are the missions that the characters do, and work up from there. And that tells an overarching story. So yeah, I think that could work.
What about one you don't want?
One you don't want to see? Anything with Mario in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you.
All right, Kev.
So it's an interesting one. I think we've had, these few successful TV shows and movies and stuff. We've got past the old Dead or Alive and Resident Evil shit shows that came out. But I think with the success and stuff of the things that have been coming out, we're in danger of over saturating that market and just turning literally every game. So I think there's a lot that should not be. And the one of the writers for the Dragon Age series actually recently came out and said he really hopes they don't make a Dragon Age TV show, simply because it's a fantasy. Like it's not going to be that different to any other fantasy TV show, realistically speaking. And I think there's a lot of danger for stuff like that. And Mass Effect, as much as I love the series, I think is in a similar situation. And if you make the Shepard TV show, like, I'm not sure how bothered I am of watching that because I've played the games, and
but
I don't know.
It's a prequel to one of the backstories that you get to choose.
Yeah. So they could definitely do something like that. But then there's a question of like, is it just going to end up being like a fairly generic sci-fi show?
Like
Halo
Starship
TV
Troopers
show
or
hasn't
whatever.
been that great. It's been all right, but it's been generic sci-fi. So I think they just need to maybe be careful about jumping too heavily into it and all the rest of it. With all that said, I guess I should probably actually try and answer the question and think of something that I would really like them to make. But nothing particularly springs to my mind at the moment.
What about you've already said Dragon Age, you really hope they don't make, but is there anything else that you just are like, don't touch this? Either because it's terrible or because it's sacrosanct?
No, I don't think so. I think like if they've got some decent solid Baldur's Gate, D&D, like they did a D&D movie that was fine. It was a good entertaining thing. It wasn't anything more than what it tried to be. That was pretty good. I think what it boils down to is if they've got an actual good idea and put the time and effort and make something because they think it's good, rather than making something just because they think it's going to make money. That's going to be
Yeah.
the big difference. But then that's the case with media creation in general, right? Like when they're churning stuff out to make a buck, that's when it suffers.
Art
So
versus business.
I will continue to consume stuff as it comes out and judge it based on its merits when it happens.
All right.
So
Well-
all the producers and film companies out there, listen to Kev.
Absolutely. Give me
my
some money for
answer-
telling my opinion.
My answer of what I'd like created is Fable. I'd love a Fable TV series. I feel
Only
like
if,
it would.
only if it includes the swearing gnomes.
Yeah, I think that it would lend itself perfectly to sort of Game of Thrones meets Blackadder. Which would be phenomenal. I would watch the fuck out of that. As for things that I hope are never made, I think Saints Row is probably right up there as something I hope is never turned into a TV series. That can fuck right off, get in the bin, get in the sea, burn in hell, see you in the core of the planet. See you later. Bye bye. No night. Bye bye.
Just to clarify, because you don't like Saints Row as a series, or because you don't think it would work on TV?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, all of it.
Yes is my answer. Okay, so Joe Middleton has then spammed us for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions.
No, more
Okay.
thinking.
So his first one, what would your dream concept, or what would be your dream concept for a game? He says, mine would be a game like The Witcher 3 or RDR2, but set in the world of Sharp, like full-on Napoleonic warfare, shagging and calling people, you bloody bastard. Ideally, you would have a mode where once you work your way up through the ranks, much to the annoyance of those who bought their commissions, you can control and give orders to a company. In fact, why the fuck hasn't there been a Sharp video game yet?
That is a very good
Good-
point.
very
Mr.
good question.
Middleton. Yeah.
Kev, let's go to you first. If you could pick a concept for a game. would
Yeah,
be your
so
dream?
I would love to see a Tron game set
I mean,
both in the real world and in the digital world, and the digital world stuff is played in VR, and the real world stuff is played like just at your computer or at your console. See, so when you go into the digital world, you have to go and put on your headset.
okay, I like it. Excuse me. Very late. Rich, number 1. Do you have an idea for a concept for a game?
No.
No. Oh, fuck off. Rich, number 2.
No. Oh,
Okay,
well,
good.
hang on. No, maybe
Hey,
something
all.
along the. I like the XCOM series, so something that's a bit more. I suppose it'd be maybe like the Sharp in Space idea, that sort of thing. But I would want a squad type thing where you can take multiplayer missions through a space type one. I like the idea of being able to customize all the kit as well. I like all of those, but there's a lot of those already, isn't there? You've got things like Divisions and Rainbow Six and all those kinds of things. They're squad shooters already, aren't they? And I'm shit at first person, so maybe that's not a great idea.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
I myself would quite like to have a game set in post-Norman invasion Britain. And some form of story. So, not like an Assassin's Creed. I'd want it to be an actual organic story set in the time period of either a soldier being part of an invasion to a foreign land, or to have somebody trying to save their family from incoming invasion that there's no actual beating. And so it's about how you keep people safe and assimilate and figure out a way forward. I think it's very easy to have games where the hero saves the day, but to actually have a game where it's more about realism and the struggle would be quite interesting.
Yeah, now my brain's starting to think. I would like
Whirring.
a pirate game. So this is about the discovery of the new world.
Yeah.
That kind of time go to South America, but interacted with aliens. So aliens, but in that time.
So cowboys versus aliens versus pirates
Versus pirates versus predator.
versus Nan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. Good.
Oh, no,
okay.
yeah. That's the one.
So Joe's next question was, what is the best controller ever created in the world of gaming? In terms of, I think we need to split this into two categories. What is the best batshit crazy controller, and what is the best in terms of comfort to play? Kev, you're chomping at the bit here, mate. So
Yeah. So the best controller is the Steel Battalion original Xbox game. I don't know if you guys were aware of this, or but Steel Battalion is a mech game. So you're driving the Steel Battalion controller. Just Google it right now. Is fucking amazing.
I've seen it.
Full size controller with like all of the things.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So it's got everything you need, to the point of like, if you die in the game, it deletes your save, and there's an eject button, and the only way to preserve your save is to eject before your mech gets destroyed. And shit like that. Like, just like that is the perfect in terms of the batshit crazy controller. In terms of like comfort and actual usability, I'm afraid my answer is gonna have to be the mouse and keyboard. As any true PC master race would have to say. But yeah, it's
Have you
it's
just
got
had a
everything you
tingle
need.
from your PC gods?
Yes,
Is that like
yeah.
just on the gooch, just underneath the
Yep.
balls, like, oh, you have done well, my child.
Absolutely that.
Okay, good. Good. Has that tickled Rich number 2? We'll go to you next.
I can't really speak for the comfort ones because I've only ever used PlayStation
Generics.
really, and the ones that come with it. I've never bought third-party ones. So that's a little bit. I can't really speak to that. I'll tell you
Okay.
what was what always seemed mad to me, and it's been used in so many other different ways for things like speedruns and stuff. There's a controller somewhere which is a DJ deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that seems,
DJ Hero.
that really seems like something that we never needed.
I mean, you needed it to play DJ Hero.
Well,
because
I
otherwise,
think,
how else are you going to scratch?
why did we need DJ Hero?
Because Guitar Hero was successful, and then cynical video game execs went, you know what? My kids love the hibbity hop.
And
That's what happened.
Were you one of those execs? Because that was like.
I wish I was. I wish I was. My kids love the hibbity hop. Let's give them what they want, see? Make some money, boys.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. What a bunch of cunts.
Talking about your
okay.
impression.
Yeah, no, I got it. The cunts is me.
Yeah.
Rich number 1.
By far and away the best controller, just to go back, was the Guitar Hero. I mean, that was
Revolutionary.
Perfect. Revolutionary for what it does. It does, absolutely does.
The first version of that, and not the one from Guitar Hero Live, because that was a pain in the arse. They changed the button
one
layouts.
with the 4 buttons.
So in Guitar Hero 5, it
buttons.
changed to black and white, and you had 4 buttons of each colour. Whereas in the original Guitar Hero, you had your red, green, yellow, blue.
Well, they faffed around with double chords and buttons and stuff in the live version.
No, just the simplicity of the 4 colours and the little strumming thing. Absolutely genius.
Totally agree.
My favourite controller, Kempston joystick for the Spectrum. There's nothing.
Kempston Pro
Kev's looking at
Turbo.
me like I'm
Kempston Pro Turbo with an auto fire button.
Pro Turbo. with an auto fire turn on. What I really loved about it is that the suckers never sucked onto the table, so it fell off all the time, and the micro
Suckers.
switches broke in about 35 seconds. So by the time you were a minute into the game, you couldn't turn left, and you had to buy a new one. So, but
Sounds perfect.
still
Just
absolutely, absolutely love it. And what joysticks need to make a comeback. Somehow.
I'm not sure they do. I feel like in this day and age, it's just going to be a load of videos on Pornhub of people sitting on their joysticks. So that's why we don't need them
Well,
anymore.
you didn't think we did that in the 80s, mate? There you go.
I mean, in the 80s, I was a small child, so no. In terms of mine, I think the most batshit controller will always be the SNES Bazooka.
Okay.
Like, I don't understand how someone decided. Do you know what? We with the NES, we had the gun for Duck Hunt, and everybody loved this gun. Let's make a bazooka. Like, that doesn't make
Seems
any
like
sense.
the next logical upgrade, to be honest.
I just feel like a bigger gun is the next logical upgrade, but no, straight to bazooka. What was it? The Super Scope.
Well, did Nerf need to make a nuke?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, they did they?
Yes, they did.
That's a similar type thing, right?
I don't think that's similar. And also, like, in terms of one to actually play with, I'm going to be a real basic bitch here. I'm going to say I'm really enjoying the DualSense. I enjoy the haptic feedback on games that it's really well calibrated for. I enjoy the adaptive triggers. Just in terms of changing the situations in games, I think that's really fantastic, and it adds a nice extra dimension to gaming on the PS5. It's maybe not always the most ergonomically friendly controller. So many people are proponents of the Xbox controller over the PlayStation one, and I completely get that. And I enjoy the off-centered sticks versus the centered sticks on the PlayStation, but I just really enjoy the functionality of the DualSense 5, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else can be done with it, and that's why I really like it.
I feel we need to make an honourable mention for the Wii,
Yeah.
really, in terms of best controllers ever made.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think best
It
worst.
got so many people into gaming that otherwise weren't, right? Like, I don't think you can. It was so intuitive as a controller.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so many times it didn't actually work. How many times did you play Wii Bowling and the ball just not go anywhere?
I know, but that was early into but that
was part of the fun.
But the concept of it, yeah. Anyway, this is a deep topic, and we're only on.
It
2
is a
out of
deep
5.
topic. The next question Joe has asked is nothing really to do with gaming, but he wanted to ask it, and it's our job to answer it. So, if God is a DJ, what song were they playing when they created you?
Probably using that fucking controller.
That's not a song. Rich number 2. For that flippancy, we're coming to you first.
No,
Is it Run for the Hills?
Back in Black.
Okay.
Of
Sure.
course, you can say that as a white man, but
I was literally just sitting here like,
It's the
you're the
title of the
whitest
5th
man.
best-selling album of all time. Do what you want.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Rich number 1. What song was playing when God created you?
Insomnia.
Okay, Time Machine. Gotcha. And Kev?
No idea. Something Disturbed.
I think by the band Disturbed, or just a song that is Disturbed?
A song that is Disturbed.
Okay, good. And I think mine, to be obscure and yet stick to my age, I'm going to go for My Big Mouth by Oasis. I think it's got me into a lot of trouble. So it's probably only right that it was playing when I was created. The last question, I don't even know how we answer this. I'm going to be honest with you. What minority sport deserves a big budget game, and why is it kabaddi?
The fuck is kabaddi?
Kabaddi. You must know
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi is a wrestling game. Kabaddi
Wrestling
is a
ball
wrestling
game.
sport where you have to hold your breath, and you prove you're holding your breath or not breathing. Sorry, by saying Kabaddi.
It's a cross between bulldog and wrestling.
Rugby.
And wrestling.
And the only reason I know that is because we're of a certain age, and it was on Channel 4,
Channel
wasn't
4.
it?
The Big
yeah,
Breakfast as well. The Big Breakfast did a big feature on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
So yeah, you've answered your own question, Joe, and none of us are going to have a minority obscure sport to rival this.
Yeah, we
that doesn't already have
definitely
its own game.
I'm going to say cheese rolling.
Sure.
Yes.
Let's go river jumping just for the sake of it.
Is that a sport or a game?
It was where I'm from.
Extreme ironing.
If you have to sprint that hard to jump across a river, then it's a sport.
I know. People call it different things, but we call it knockdown ginger. But that should be a game.
That's a game, surely not a sport.
No, was sporty, but it's minority for sure. It's definitely a minority sport.
Also,
so minority that it's not actually
to sell it to the American market, you'd have to use the American version, which is Ding Dong Ditch, and that just doesn't have the same appeal.
Okay, so everyone else's name for it? Knocking on the door and running away,
Yeah,
Kev?
Knockdown Ginger. We're from the
Kev?
south.
I think it's probably called Knock and Run.
Knock and run.
Knock and run.
What about that game?
Younger generation, we're a bit simpler.
If you've seen
Which is like nearly a decade older than me.
If you've ever watched Would I Lie to You, there's a game that Bob Mortimer plays called oh, now I've forgotten the name of it. That's failed. Oh, it's to do with shrubbery.
Very long name for a game.
Yeah. Look it up. There's a game.
Oh no, Joe's got one more. We got one more from Joe. Performance or fidelity? I don't care.
In sex or gaming?
Still don't care.
You don't care about fidelity in your sex?
Nope.
No, he doesn't. He needs the lights off. So it's 0 fidelity, high performance,
massive field of vision.
That's how that's how he's married. It's lights off but high performance
with a massive field of vision.
Massive field of vision. Great frame per second.
Yep.
Isn't fidelity essentially monogamy?
What
right?
What was your sexual FPS?
1.
1. So you can set a clock by it, love.
Mr. Metronome.
If I'm not ticking, you're not talking.
Oh, nice.
Good. Anyone want anything else apart from I don't care on that question?
No.
I'm going to go with both because PC.
Oh, his balls have tingled again.
Okay.
Divine overlords are happy with my contribution. Good. Okay, Joe, back in your box for another month. And lastly, little Dave Packer, whose birthday was like yesterday or the day before. Happy birthday, Dave!
Not at the time of this, of you listening to this, guys. That was it was Dave's birthday 6 weeks ago.
By the time I've edited all this bullshit together, Dave will have had another birthday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was his birthday. So Dave, I hope you steered clear of the turbo shandy if you're around your wife and kids. And if not, I hope you had several. Dave asks us, as Kevin is pretending to be bald to curry favour with the rest of you, what have you pretended to fit in with other people?
God, that's very deep.
It is for Dave.
I don't know whether or
I
not
think I did at one point pretend that I have read, 1984 and Animal Farm and all that kind of crap.
Oh. A window into the world of Kev's seduction techniques.
Yeah, pretending to be bald wasn't achieving me much in that regard.
Yeah, so you decided to pretend to be well read. I'm well read and I'm really bald. Also, I have a yacht.
I pretended to be really good at acting, and got a part in the local panto with about 50 lines in it, which by the time it went on stage, I had 2 lines.
Good work, buddy. Good work.
She just kept saying to me, "Do you know what? Should we need that line?"
What we could really do with you, Richard, is if you could just stand over here and hold
Yeah.
this.
And hold
Pull the
this.
rope
And
for the
this-
curtain.
this basically
no,
given the acting version of a triangle. I came in as the lead fiddler or the lead violinist and was
Sure you
given a
did, Rob.
acting triangle. Just go and stand over there and ding this once a scene. There you go.
I've been that director. I have shepherded someone to the far reaches of the stage.
Yeah.
I know the process well. Which number 2? Anything you've lied about or pretended?
No, I can think of and/or safely admit on here.
Okay.
Well, it's court case still pending. So after the judgment, then he'll be able to say.
Yeah.
I think not since I was a teenager, man. And I used to pretend I liked basketball a lot more than I actually did.
Or did you lie when you were 17 and now is it raining a lot?
No. I'm not in Travis. No. No. Like I've never really felt the need. I think outside of, I certainly before I started acting, I bigged myself up to people that were directing shows, and they were like, "Are you actually any good?" And I went, "Yeah, I am," but it turned out I was. So it's not really lying. Yeah, in terms of bollocks to fit in, I think I've always just accepted that I don't, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, not really.
Sadly, we're not okay with it. So
yeah, no, I know, but I still am. So
fair enough, that's fine. That's fine.
And in a universe where I'm the only person that matter, it's all right.
And on that solipsistic note, that's the end of the questions.
That is the end of the questions.
Therefore, the end of another marvellous shit show of editing for Toby to do. So by the time you hear this, it'll be smooth as hell. So
and it'll be 2026.
And it'll be 2026. So that just leaves us to say goodbye to all you lovely people. So goodbye from Toby.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Kev.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Rich too. Okay, that's weird. And goodbye from me. Catch us on Facebook, people. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.